It's me, Amy B. Hi, and I'm here to talk about how emotions get stuck in the body, introducing my up and coming seminar, Unraveling Fascia and Somatics. So, humanity is kind of stuck in survival, and it's going to take all of us to be able to slowly unravel the process of trauma being an epidemic that is affecting our physical function, causing an array of diseases. I would go as far as to say all diseases in the body and mind are caused by congestion in the body. And what am I talking about when I talk about congestion? I'm talking about incomplete and blocked feedback loops between the body brain organism. So, trauma being an incomplete stress cycle, where there was either too much, too little, something that happened that was too sudden for too long, without adequate time, resources, protection, space, or permission to complete the process. So, what happens in there is a stressful situation, there will also need to be a resolution to that stressful situation in order for the body to let go. So, what happens is when a stressful situation arrives, the body prepares to respond and survive. We're all aware of the fight and flight response. The fight and flight response is known as a sympathetic nervous system response. What happens with the sympathetic nervous system gets activated, then the diaphragm will tense and tighten up. And this diaphragm alteration then gears the physical body up for fight or flight. This is by diverting the breath, the oxygen, the blood flow, and also activating the muscles needed for surviving a stressful situation. And stressful situations are very important to our development. And think how many times the baby falls over. And using that stress, it creates this energy needed to get over the hurdle and onto the next rung of the ladder in our development and evolution. So, stress itself isn't the problem, it's the incompletion of the stress cycle. So, what happens is as the diaphragm tenses, it also engages the thoracic lumbar fascia, which is the back of the diaphragm. So, it's the mid back between the thoracic and lumbar back. Now, it's important to note when it comes to the fascia is what connects everything in our body. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Every single cell, every single fiber, and every single nerve ending is connected by this web of fascia. I will be talking extensively on the other composites of fascia in my up and coming seminar. Now, I just want you to understand that the fascia is a communication network, and it is also a neural network. It has more nerve endings than anything else in the body. And being that then there is an engagement through the diaphragm and the fascia that then webs to everything. So, thinking from that mid back, mid chest area, there is a tightening that happens in the chest. The shoulders come up, the chin comes forward, the fists may ball, and there is just a general bracing that happens through the whole torso. This bracing then affects the lymphatic and blood flow in getting to the vital organs and all other areas of the body. And then this bracing will usually then be ready to respond with a fight or a flight, which then discharges the energy. In a very rudimentary sense, that's what the body is waiting for, is a discharge of the energy so that it can know that the danger is over and that we completed the stress cycle and we've returned to safety. So that's understanding that how emotions affect the body, but how are they getting stuck? Well, what's happening is the fascia itself is built from collagen, but it's also a liquid crystalline structure. It very much depends on the hyaluronic acid liquid that flows through, which is delivering information and also delivering protein and building blocks. And as a lymphatic fluid system, it is also cleansing and removing the chemical deposits that were deposited in the tissues during the stress response, such as adrenaline and cortisol. So, when there is then this prolonged stress, the cortisol deposits build up around the congestion point, causing adhesions. And this is then holding us in a stiffened stress posture. And again, we're thinking of those areas of the body that respond to fight or flight: the diaphragm, the thoracic lumbar, back, and then up through the neck, the hip flexors, the jaw, the fists, even the feet, ready for action, but not getting to complete the action. There are larger deposits of collagen. And then there are also larger deposits of a neuropeptide called substance P, which is used to flush the system after a deposit of cortisol. And we're noticing that the substance P, along with the collagen deposits, causes a greater inflammation in the body. Inflammation is the cause of disease. So that's why it's spoken that suppressed emotions cause disease in the body. But also, on a more positive feedback note, by releasing these tissues, we do also then allow the body to complete the stress response and process the emotions. So, this is going to support healing from trauma. When we talk about congestion in the fascia fabric and the collagen buildup, and then the inflammation stopping the lymphatic flow, that also then affects the neurological response. So the fascia, like I mentioned earlier, has more nerve endings than anywhere else in the body. And the nerve endings are both proprioceptive, which give feedback of where the body is in space, interoceptive, which give feedback from the internal body of what is happening inside, and nociceptive, which also have pain receptors. So, feeling that inflammation is a painful experience, and then the buildup of collagen, creating tension and adhesions known as muscle knots and scar tissue, is also causing a painful experience. And then this feedback of pain from the body that is generated by the original emotional traumatic incident does then keep the person continuing to feel the emotional pain, which is connected to the physical pain. So the two are existing at the same time in this. The body mind organism is continually getting feedback that there is both emotional and physical pain. But when we then apply what's known as a fascia unloading technique using pressure, movement of vibrations, or heat, what we're doing is we are bringing fluids into the area. So we are re-nourishing the stagnant area. We are plumping out the big collagen deposits, and then we are allowing lymphatic flow to detox the area of the buildup of chemical neurotransmitter toxins and neuropeptide substance P. We're allowing that flushing to occur. And then when that flushing occurs, the neurofeedback is restored. So the interoceptive message coming from the body to the brain is that the body is in harmony. And then the brain is able to finally get that the stress response and cycle is indeed complete. So by unloading the fascia, we stimulate the nervous system in order to send feedback that the body is indeed back in harmony, and the emotional processing can happen sometimes with stories and memories that arrive through the process, sometimes without, just with a deepening sense of release and safety. If you'd like to learn more about somatic processing and experience it, I would really love for you to join us at the Embodying Psychedelia event, which is on the weekend of Saturday, the 21st of March, 2025. Or indeed, please come and join me at a somatic alignment yoga class, which will be on a few times a week from the Byron Bay region from April. If you'd like to experience one on one facilitation, please do reach out. I have time in my schedule for